Welcome to my channel. I'm Gary Wuryawan, and today I want to talk about using Lightroom Denoise AI on pictures taken using Micro Four Thirds camera. Let's go! If you are new to this channel, I mainly talk about photography and music from the point of view of an enthusiast. So if that's something that you're into, if you want something more honest and more authentic, I think you should subscribe to my channel down below. And now let's continue with today's video. So today I want to talk about using Lightroom Denoise AI for pictures taken using Micro Four Thirds camera. I think this is an important matter to discuss because inevitably if you are using Micro Four Thirds camera such as this Panasonic GX85 or any of the other Micro Four Thirds cameras from OM System, Olympus, Lumix, Panasonic, inevitably you'll have smaller sensor compared to other camera formats such as Fuji, Sony, Canon, Nikon, and that will mean poorer low light performance. You will get more noise if you're shooting at high ISO in low light condition, and anything that you can do to improve this kind of high ISO low light situation will be really appreciated. So I want to see if Lightroom Denoise AI can help you with that. So in the past, I have used other denoise tools such as the DxO Pure Raw, and today I just want to focus specifically for the Lightroom Denoise AI tool because I want to see how far can it go to reduce the noise and make my low light, high ISO pictures look nice without having to use any other software. I just prefer to use Lightroom, and if this Denoise AI tool works really well, then I can just ditch the DxO Pure Raw and consolidate my raw processing software just with using Lightroom, and that's something that I'm really into. So today I have a few pictures that I want to test with the Lightroom Denoise AI. All of these pictures are raw pictures taken using my Micro Four Thirds camera, mostly with the GX85 right here, and all of them are taken using really high ISO, ISO 1600, ISO 3200, and all of them are taken in low light situation, so the noise are really apparent and they're really grainy, and I want to see if the Denoise AI really works on these pictures. And if they work, that really means it's a big success. That means we're able to narrow the gap between Micro Four Thirds and larger camera formats such as APS-C and full frame, and that's a good thing. That means your Micro Four Thirds camera can now shoot in lower light situation and in higher ISO. So now we're gonna start testing this picture, so I want to take you to my computer and we'll start right away. Alright, so this is the Adobe Lightroom panel, and as you can see right here, I have a few pictures. The first picture is going to be the picture of a Space Needle Tower that I took in Seattle a few weeks ago. And as you can see, this picture is taken at ISO 3200, quite high ISO for Micro Four Thirds, and the light situation is already a little bit low. This is in the evening, so it's past sunset, so yeah, there's not a whole lot of light. I was aiming for a high enough shutter speed to avoid shutter shock, so yeah, this is what we get right here. So as you can see, as it is, it's not too bad. There's not a whole lot of visible noise, but once you zoom in, as you can see right here, there's a whole lot of grains and noise, and then you start to lose some details on, especially on the upper part of the tower right here, and also there's plenty of this noise going on the sky, and I think it is a little bit distracting. So what I have done to this image is just a very basic processing. I increase a little bit of shadow, add a little bit of whites, and reduce a little bit of blacks to add a little bit of contrast, and also I add just a touch of clarity and dehaze to make this picture look nice. Yeah, so I already have a little bit of sharpening going on right here and a little bit of noise reduction as well, but this is manual noise reduction, and now we want to try to eliminate the noise even further. So first, let's see if I'm using the manual noise reduction slider right here. ISO 3200, I will use probably 54 or 55 or thereabouts of luminance noise reduction on the manual noise reduction panel right here. And as you can see, it starts to look better, but you lose a lot of detail. And that's the problem with using manual noise reduction in Lightroom, and I don't really like that. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to press the denoise button right here, and it will launch the Denoise AI. So yeah, while we wait for it, let me explain a little bit what's going on. So on this panel right here, it says denoise, and then you can choose the amount that you want. Right now, I choose 60. I think that's the best value for about ISO 3200 for Micro Four Thirds. And as you can see, with the denoise applied, and you can get a little bit of preview on this panel right here, it does a pretty good job in my opinion. But this is not the final image because it has a little bit of compression going on. So yeah, I'm going to just go into the upper part of the tower so you can see the effect of the Denoise AI. So yeah, quite clean in my opinion. I don't want to make it too clean, like let's say 80 or 90, because it will look a little bit unrealistic. It'll look not organic at all, and I want to reduce it to probably about 60 something, like so. 59, let's make it round 60. And yeah, as you can see, it looks more natural. There's still lots of details going on, but the noise is not really offending anymore. So yeah, it says 4-minute waiting time for the AI processing, so we're just gonna go ahead and press that right now. Alright, so we have the denoise applied into this picture of Space Needle right here. It took about a few minutes because I'm just using my laptop, but if you're using a faster computer, I can imagine that the process is going to be quicker, shorter, and more efficient. Now let's take a look at this picture, the details, the noise, how it is better compared to the one without the Denoise AI. And by zooming in straight into the upper part of the tower, you can see that the noise is almost gone, and you get some details back using the Denoise AI, which is really a good thing. You want to have some details back into your picture, otherwise it'll turn into a very soft, mushy picture that you don't really like. And yeah, I can see some details. The people on the upper part of the tower is now more visible, it's more clear. And as you can see on some other parts of the image, you can see the sky is getting very clean right now. The out of focus area of the tree branches now looks even more natural and without too much noise. Still a little bit of noise you can see right there, but it's not really offending and it looks more natural. The only thing that doesn't look natural in my opinion are the tree leaves on this area right here. As you can see, it's a little bit mushy, a little bit too clean. You don't get that much detail. Maybe it's because I'm using a long telephoto lens and this part is a little bit out of focus, so you don't get that much detail back. But I don't know. This looks a little bit unnatural, a little bit mushy, pastel-like, blur. I cannot really explain it to you, but this doesn't look natural to me. But still, I think the Lightroom Denoise AI does a pretty good job of denoising this kind of image. And now we're going to compare it with the one without the Denoise AI. So yeah, on the left you can see the image without the Denoise AI, and on the right is the one with Denoise AI. As you can see, it's quite a difference between those two pictures. The noise level on the picture with the Denoise AI was just really clean. You can get a lot more details. As you can see on the upper part of the tower right here, you can see that the people starts to look more clear, and then the sky is also very clean. There's not a whole lot of noise on the one with the Denoise AI. The tree branches, the shadows, everything just looks so clean. And I want to take a special look at this part right here where you can see some tree leaves right there. Yeah, I think we get some details lost on these tree leaves right here. I think it's not because I'm using a long telephoto lens, but this is because of there's lack of detail to begin with, and the Denoise AI just tries to make up its information into the tree leaves right here. And as you can see, besides that, everything else looks really nice, and I think this is a success. So yeah, let's move on to the next picture. Alright, so we have our second picture right here. This is the picture of Kaliana Resort Villa, and this is one of the villa right there, and this is taken using my GX85 with the Laowa 7.5mm f2. I believe at f2 you can watch the vlog up here. I made a vlog about how I captured this particular photo right here, but basically this was taken at quite high ISO of 1600 because I wanna try to maximize the shutter speed right here without going too low. And as you can see, the picture is quite sharp with that lens. However, there are lots of noise, and this was taken during the night, so it's completely dark and it's just lots of noise, as you can see on the sky right here, on the shadow area, and also on the texture of the walls. I'm quite curious how the Denoise AI will be able to preserve the textures of the walls right here, and also the grass. Will it be able to differentiate between the texture and the noise? So yeah, quite basic settings right here. As before, I just added a little bit of exposure to kind of make the image look a little bit brighter and more nice in my opinion. So now let's go down to the denoise panel right here, and then we're going to apply the same amount of noise reduction. We're gonna take a look at the preview first. Let's see how much denoise do we need, and is it going to work well or not. So let's take a look at the walls. Let's see how the texture is rendered. A little bit mushy, but this is just a preview. I don't really know if it's going to be this mushy or not in the final product. But as you can see, the sky becomes very clean with the Denoise AI. I just keep it at around 60. I think that works really well with Micro Four Thirds images. So yeah, let's try to enhance this picture with the Denoise AI. Alright, so about 3 minutes have already passed, and now we have the Denoise AI applied into this picture right here. And as you can see, the settings are preserved except for the noise reduction. Now it has Denoise AI. As you can see, the sky is now very clean. There's not a whole lot of noise in the sky, and that's really a good thing. And the texture of the walls, yeah, they're almost completely gone. Same story right here. The shadows from the tree branches looks way too sharp for what they are, but it's a little bit hilarious. But anyway, I think the Denoise AI does really a good job on this picture besides of the texture. However, the texture of the grass, they are fine in my opinion. The grass are still very detailed, and on the rock is a little bit, you know, mushy right here on the shadow area, but that's to be expected because I don't think any Denoise AI software will be perfect. There's no such thing as the perfect software. And on this area, the dark sitting area right here, I think it looks okay. So yeah, I think the Denoise AI does a pretty good job on this image. A little bit mushy in my opinion, but not really terrible. So we're going to compare it before and after. So let's put the before right here, and yeah, on the left is the picture before the Denoise AI. As you can see, very noisy and very grainy. There's almost no details at all, but the one with the Denoise AI looks pretty good in my opinion. Lots of details are preserved except for really difficult textures like on the stone walls and on the shadow area, but otherwise it looks really nice. Some of the bush looks a little bit hyper realistic and way too sharp for what they are, but it's not a big problem in my opinion. Still looks nice, not a big problem. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with the result of the Denoise AI on this particular picture. Let's have a look at one more picture, and then after that I'm gonna give you my conclusion, my final thoughts about Lightroom Denoise AI. Alright, so this is the last picture that I wanna show you. We're going to do the last Denoise AI test on this particular picture. So this picture was taken after sunset, so the light condition were already low, and then I'm using pretty high ISO 3200 right here. As you can see, it's pretty grainy, it's pretty noisy, especially on the shadow area. There's a little bit of noise on the sky as well. The picture looks bright even though it's past sunset because I overexposed the picture a little bit to compensate for the main subject of this image, which is these two boys right here standing on the paddy field. And as you can see, the texture on the boys were already pretty lost. The textures on the Paddy field, they're pretty lost. They're covered with grains and noise. So yeah, it's quite a terrible image if you pixel peep at it. However, if you don't pixel peep, you don't zoom in, then it's looking fine so far. So as usual, I'm using very basic adjustment, shadows, white, blacks, and I'm using a little bit of clarity and dehaze. And yeah, that's about it. I applied a little bit of sharpening, but now without the noise reduction, it's pretty mushy. So I'm applying a little bit of noise reduction right now. This is the manual noise reduction as with the other pictures, but right now we're going to apply denoise. So as usual, I'm going to set the value to about 60. That's where I think I like the result the most. If I put a little bit less than 60, then it's still a little bit grainy and I don't like that. But if I put way more than 60, then the picture will look unnatural, just quite detailless, just not realistic enough in my opinion. It doesn't look very organic and realistic. So yeah, this is what I like. And if we take a look at the preview right here, as you can see, yeah, the texture of the boys, they start to come back and then the noise starts to become very controlled. So yeah, estimation is about 4 minutes. So I'm going to press enhance, and after this, we're gonna wait until the denoise AI is applied into this picture. So yeah. Alright, so the denoise AI has been applied to this particular picture. So we're going to take a quick look at the zoomed in areas right here. So first we're gonna take a look at the boys, and wow, lots of details back into these boys, and also the textures on the Paddy field, on the leaves, they are all preserved really well, and the noise are gone. So yeah, wow, it's looking almost perfect in my opinion. I can still see just a little bit of traces of noise here and there. Not that much, but it helps to make the image looks organic, not too, you know, artificial, if you understand what I mean. After all, it's AI, so yeah, you don't want to make it look too artificial. But yeah, the details are really nice on this one. I think on this particular image, it's a success. So we're going to compare before and after of this particular picture. So yeah, as you can see on the boys right here, the one with the denoise AI looks much better. We start to see some details on the t-shirts of these boys, and also on the shorts and on the hair a little bit. The noise are almost gone. It's a little bit too good, you know, it starts to look artificial a little bit, but from the distance you cannot really tell. And yeah, I kind of like the one with the denoise AI better. The textures on the Paddy field and on the leaves of the trees, it looks really good with the denoise AI. It's a little bit too much noise reduction. Maybe I should dial it down to about 55 or something, but I'm still okay with this. It doesn't look too bad at all, but at least the noise is already gone. It's not offending anymore in my opinion, especially on the sky, on the shadow area, on the boys, and also on the Paddy field. So yeah, quite a big success on this particular picture. So now let's head back, and I'm going to share my final thoughts about using Lightroom Denoise AI for Micro Four Thirds camera. Okay, final thoughts of using Lightroom Denoise AI on pictures taken using Micro Four Thirds camera. First of all, I can say that noise is no longer a problem when you are using Denoise AI on Micro Four Thirds pictures, even if the pictures are taken using high ISO and under low light situation. Yeah, the details are just nice. Now you get some pictures that are really clean without all of those grains, and you can get some details back. You don't really get that mushy thing going on with the high ISO pictures that you usually get with your untreated Micro Four Thirds pictures. And I really think this is great. This means that now the gap is narrower in between Micro Four Thirds and other larger camera formats. However, it's not perfect in my opinion. The Denoise AI on Lightroom can use some improvement. First of all, it's taking very long in my laptop. My laptop is not really that fast, but it's also not really a slow laptop. It's quite a good performer with its AMD processor, and each image takes about 3 to 4 minutes to get the Denoise AI applied into a single picture, and I think that's a little bit too long. Hopefully in the future Adobe will make the Denoise AI a little bit more efficient so that the processing time is not really that long, because now you have to compromise a little bit of your time, so you're able to get a clean picture, but you have to sacrifice a little bit of time to make your picture look clean. You don't have to do anything, so you don't have to spend some energy, you don't have to really care when you're taking your image, but you have to spend some time waiting 3 to 4 minutes for each picture. And if you have more than one picture, I think that's going to be a problem. So that's the first drawback. Second drawback, some of the textures, especially if you're shooting like a rock texture, you know, a wall made of rock or a little bit of a stone on the yard or something like that, some of the textures will be lost and it will look a little bit mushy and not detailed. So yeah, it's not yet perfect in my opinion. However, as what I can see so far, I'm quite pleased with the result of the Lightroom Denoise AI, and I encourage you guys to try using Denoise software such as the Lightroom Denoise AI or other Denoise software that you're really familiar with. And yeah, hopefully using Denoise softwares like this will be able to help micro four thirds pictures taken at high ISO and low light situation to become more usable and no longer offending, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with today's experiment with the Denoise AI. I'm quite happy with the result, and in the future, if I have some pictures taken at high ISO under low light situation, I'll be more confident because I have tools like the Denoise AI to help me reduce the noise and preserve some detail on my image. And that is all for today's video. I hope that today's video is helpful for you, is informative for you. Please comment down below what is your favorite Denoise software if you have one. Also, if you have any question about today's video, don't worry, please comment down below and I will try my best to answer all of them. Also, don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video and subscribing to my channel down below. Thank you and see you in the next video. Goodbye.